You will remember at the end of yesterday's episode, except for the rabbit segment, we had just shaped one of these little needles so that it would work as a sort of a railing holder. It's a little bit late for the Bismarck, although I think we are going to be able to use it today. I'm just trying to get rid of those little burrs that were kind of making it sort of like a hook, like an old-fashioned gaff when you went fishing. Okay, now I'll have a turn here. Do it the other way. I think this file's probably hard enough that it's going to get those out of there. We'll stick the macro lens on and look at it in a second here, and then we'll know. Oh no! I broke it off. Well, that's the end of that. May as well pull it out of there now. I'll save the needle. I might be able to use it for something. I guess I got just a little bit too exuberant. Well, I show everything. May as well show this scene. No use trying to figure out how I can weld that back on, is there? I do have another one here, and it's considerably bigger, and because these are magnetized, it's getting kind of hard to pull them apart here. Okay. Anyway, I think what I'm going to do, let me just check my monitor and make sure I still have that centered. Yeah, I do, surprisingly, after all that poking. Okay, I think I'm probably going to cut it off maybe just a millimeter from the end here, from where it starts, like right about where I'm touching. It doesn't have to have big, long forks on there. I think that's where I went wrong before. It was just too long and the leverage was too much when I was trying to file it down. I should have known better. Actually, I did know better. I don't know why I kept on there. So, yeah, we'll just cut it off right there. I'm going to do it all off camera, and we'll look at it afterwards. We already did this in yesterday's episode. Okay, I think I've got it opened up here enough. It doesn't look like it's going to catch anywhere. See if I can... So you can see through the opening there. You can see on the one that I cut off, it would easily catch on the railing when I try to remove it and pull the railing off instead of leaving it in place. So you know what? Let's try it out. Now, when I was editing out that last scene there that was taken with the macro lens, I thought I could see what appeared to be just on the inside something that could accidentally hook on the photo etch when you were trying to remove this thing. And yeah, when you look at it with a super macro, you can kind of see it there. And my file won't get in there, but I have an idea, something that might. Okay, here's the plan. This is 1000 grit sandpaper, and it's the type of sandpaper you can use on metal. And I'm thinking that if I was to take a little bit of it here and bend it, okay, I think I should be able to fold this now. Okay, so I've got a crease here now. Now I do believe that two thicknesses of the sandpaper should still fit in the groove there between the two forks, between the two prongs. And then if I'll just show you. I don't need to explain everything before I do it. I don't know why. I have a tendency to do that. I don't know why I think I have to explain what I'm going to do before I do it. Why don't I just keep my mouth shut and do it and just assume that the viewer can figure it out? Okay. Maybe what I should have done is heated this up with my torch and softened the metal a little, because it's still pretty hard. But I do believe we're probably going to take the little burrs off the inside that would have a tendency to catch. And we'll take a look at this with the super macro after and see if we can notice any difference. Probably it's going to make a fool out of me, and I'm just wasting a whole bunch of time here. I'm taking off the grit off the paper anyway. I'll just work at it a little bit here, and then we'll look at it with the super macro. Now, I don't know if we're looking at the same side as we were before. It should be turned around 180 degrees, but we are looking at the same magnification, and we are seeing on the inside there, and it does appear that in between the two prongs it does appear to be smoother. Now here's something I've never done before. You're actually looking at the two videos. One is switched one way and the other's the other. It's not like I took snapshots out of each video and then fooled around with them in Photoshop and CorelDRAW to give you this. You are actually seeing the videos. They are actually running. You might notice a little vibration on one or the other. It's not like a still photo. Anyway, enough of that. The needle on the left is the after we did the sandpaper thing, and the needle on the right is the before. And you can see the difference. Oh, also the one on the left, I put it in the ultrasonic bath, or ultrasonic cleaner. And so it's probably a little shinier because of that. Okay, we're going to have to adjust our prongs here so that they will accommodate the horizontal railing. And now don't worry, we will put on the macro lens. Maybe I should put the macro lens on now, and then you can see me being able to use the prongs to adjust everything. Okay, we're back. And you can see that I'm going to be able to carefully go up against the post there. Okay, I don't want to put too much pressure on, or it'll bend the railing. Now just let me scrunch down and see if we're still in line here. It almost appears as though it should maybe come up just a little. Okay. That looks better. It's more in line now with this railing that it comes off of, if you know what I mean. We won't worry about the next one down yet. Okay, now once again, let's not give it a bath. Quite a bit of time has passed here now, and our CA glue is cured. I guess you know when I say quite a bit of time has passed, generally that means it's the next morning. Well, it is, it's the next morning. I'm wondering if possibly I've got the prongs just a little bit too long on this needle here. Maybe I should have, well, I can grind them down later if I find there's a bit of a problem. But we should be able to very carefully here move down now. Sorry to get my fingers in your way there, but at least that gives you relevance of size. Got to go up just a little bit here. Now, I believe those rails are parallel. I just want to, maybe it should go up just a little bit here. Okay, how does that look? Does that look like they're parallel? Okay, let's stick on the macro lens. Okay, now on the last one I used CA medium. This is CA thin. See if I can put on just a little bit less. Okay, we'll let that cure. Because you can clearly see where the medium on the railing above looks like a tiny little blob there. Now mind you, I'm looking with my magnifying hood on, and once again, nobody's going to see that. Okay, I've already shortened these two rails with the S word, and while I was doing it, I was talking to myself because I'd forgotten to push record. I'm just wondering here if this one here, I might as well check the other one. Okay, the other one's alright, but maybe this upper one here, it should have been maybe a smidgen shorter. It's kind of sticking out there in front of the jack stand. Maybe I should just try and shorten it just a little bit there and see what happens. Now, you may not be able to see it. Whoop. Maybe I got the scissors open too much. Close them up a bit. Okay, is that better? Let's try that. Oh, I just about pulled it off there. That's some better. Yeah. Maybe let's move this out of the way. See if we can just curve this just a little bit here. I just want this to be just a little bit more curved. Like that. Okay. Oh yeah, so what I was trying to say was that one of the viewers had mentioned that he couldn't tell how small the paintbrush was because there was no relevance of size there, so I told him I'd try to show that today when I paint this. Oh, that's pushing it too hard. It's got to go up just a little. Sure glad I'm not paying for film here. See, I'm trying to move the stand in and out and in and out, and every time I take my hand off it, it moves. It's not exactly the way I wanted it. It's curved itself back in again now. Well, maybe I can glue it there and then push it back out after. Let's see what happens. I'm wondering, should it come down just a tiny bit here? Check the monitor. a minute. It's pulled away from the staff there. All right. Okay. Let's see what happens when I stop leaning on the table here now. Are we cured here now? No, we're not. It still looks like it might be a little bit soft, but I do believe it's going to stay there when we release our pressure here. Okay, let's go down and do the other one now. See, what happens with this thing is that you get it just right, but then when you release your pressure on the base of this thing that's holding it all up, it changes. So you gotta overcompensate, and then when you release it, it's probably going to be right. Up just a little, maybe. Okay, let me look from the front. Okay, that appears to be the same height as the other one. And once again with our CA thin, I wonder if maybe the thick would have been better. Oops. I want to get it sort of in around behind there. We are going to be painting over this with the dark gray. Okay, let's just leave that for a few minutes. Now, I did not time it, but I think about half an hour has gone by here. And I think we're probably safe to paint. I wonder if I should try and, where that CA glue was, remember when I was testing the CA glue with this thing, I was kind of smearing it there. I wonder if I should maybe try and rub that smooth if I can. Or am I just going to end up making it worse? Okay, first of all, the dark gray. Okay, now this is for the person that wanted to see the brushes that I'm going to be using. So I got the wide one and the small one. And the small one here, it does narrow out a bit once it gets some liquid on it. So, yeah, you can get an idea of the size. Okay, so because I'm going to be using the small brush in behind here, just to cover up that CA. This is the dark gray, by the way. And the same on this side. I don't think it'll matter if I get it on the fence. Just let me reposition myself here a little bit. Probably going to be shaking everything. I don't want to get any on the deck tan if I can help it. I just want to cover up okay where the CA glue is there. Oh, also in behind here a little bit. Okay, now when this dries, the CA glue won't be glinting. Okay, now we can move around, and I can probably use the small brush on the front as well. I was seeing a little bit of glinting right here. I don't know if anybody's going to be viewing this from dead on anyway. Okay, that's probably good enough. We'll let that dry. Okay, I'll swing the lens around and we'll look at it from the front here. Now, before I started rearranging the camera here, I cleaned out my little brush because I knew it was just going to dry out on me. So as long as I got to use a different brush anyway and do a second cleaning, I may as well use this one and sort of help to just sort of, well, I was going to say flood it on, but it's not, maybe don't need to flood it on, but okay, that'll be covered. I think probably I should just do the rest of the post all the way up here and just so it's the same shade of gray. Apparently the one on the front here is called the jack stand. Okay, I worked, when I did the one in the back, I worked at it way too long, and the paint did not self-level as well as it could have, so I'm just going to quit here now. Well, the quitting's good. We'll take a look at this in about an hour. Maybe I'll use the heat gun and sort of help things along a little. Okay, I realize when you see this, you're probably thinking to yourself, any moment now we're going to be able to see firsthand a major meltdown. But I can adjust this thing so it'll only be 120 degrees. I'll see if I can show you here. It says 160 right now. 140, 120. That's as low as it'll go. And what it feels like is real hot breath. And it's dry. So don't worry. Now, I'll be the first to admit that doing this is, with the heat gun, it's probably not a good idea on a large area. But you notice here that the paint did shrink itself down around the parts. It doesn't look like it's pooled on there anymore. And the CA glue is covered up. I can't see it glinting anywhere, can you? Anyway, yeah, let's try now and just do the top two rails with the light gray so that they contrast and stand out. Okay, obviously we're not going to paint at the moment, but I'll put the macro lens on and we will. But there's something I wanted to mention, and I was noticing yesterday that when I was dipping my little brush here, and I was using this one, I was failing to sort of clean off the excess that was bulbing, you might say, halfway up the bristles. So I had a lot of paint halfway up the brush and practically nothing on the end. And I have to remember, after I dip the brush in, on the inside edge, of course, go like that and just sort of smear it down and then quickly move over and do the painting. At least that's the plan. Let's see if I can remember to do it now. Now, before I dip my brush here, you notice the hull gray. It's almost a greeny gray. It's not really gray, but anyway, that's what it is. So when I go around doing touch-ups with on the hull, I'll have to remember to come around here and places like right here. Okay, now I am dipping my brush. I am wiping off the excess, and we're going to try and apply. Just a little bit here, just so that they stand out a bit. Now don't touch the post. My goodness, I'm shaking like a leaf here. It must be an awkward position here. Just let me... Oh, I over dipped. So now I gotta wipe off all that excess. Okay. Okay, all we want to do is just accent it a little. Now, this is just my opinion. I wonder if maybe I should be more on the top here. Yeah, it's just my opinion. It could be that some viewers will say, well, no, it doesn't match the rest of the railing. Well, I don't think you're going to notice that, and this way they stand out. No, let's swing around to the other ones. And just check the monitor, and it appears that we could probably use just a tiny bit more on this one here at the front now. Okay, yeah, I think I got it without getting it on the post. Let me check the monitor. Oh, I got it on the post. Okay, I am dipping. And because it sometimes takes me as much as 5 minutes I thought I was dipping. Okay, I was that time for sure. That was embarrassing. Okay. Yeah, it takes as much as 5 minutes to, change, set up for a different scene. I clean my brush in between each time. Okay, now the last time I tried to come as close as I could to the post, I touched it. Okay, once again, let's quit while the quitting's good. What's this I'm seeing here now? Did I touch the front of the post, or what's going on there? I have to, when I'm using the dark gray to touch up, maybe I can remember to just put a tiny little bit of dark gray right there and cover that up. I can almost see it with my naked eye. In tomorrow's episode, we're going to go over this thing from stem to stern, looking for bent or broken railing or anything to do with railings that shouldn't be that way. Yeah, do they say stem to stern anymore, or is it bow to stern? I know stem to stern used to be sort of a popular saying. Anyway, we'll go over it from bow to stern. But that's going to have to be tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and all being well, we'll see you tomorrow.